In my last video, I talked about why self regulation in parents comes first in the Svadharma framework. Because children don't simply learn from our words, they learn from our nervous systems. But that raises an important question. If children are not born knowing how to regulate themselves, how do they learn it? The answer is through something called co regulation. And understanding co regulation may completely change the way you think about parenting because children do not learn self regulation alone. They first experience regulation from the parent. And over time, what begins as co regulation gradually becomes self regulation. So, in this video, we'll explore what co regulation is, the neuroscience behind it, why calm down doesn't work, what co regulation looks like in everyday parenting, the long term effects of co regulation, and why co regulation is one of the greatest gifts we can give our children. Simply put, co-regulation means using our calm and regulated presence to help a child move from emotional overwhelm back to a state of safety and balance. Have you ever noticed how a crying baby settles when you hold them? You don't reason with the baby that it is 12 o'clock and it's time to sleep. You don't say, calm down. You pick up the baby, hold him close, rock gently, and speak softly. The baby gradually settles down. In psychology, this process is called co regulation. I like to think of it as borrowing calm from the parent. And children continue borrowing our calm long after infancy through toddler tantrums, teenage disappointments, fears, and frustrations until they slowly learn to carry that calm within themselves. Children are born with immature nervous systems. They cannot calm themselves the way adults can. Their brains are still developing. So they depend on us, not just for food and shelter, but for emotional stability as well. Think of it this way: before children can say to themselves, I am upset, but I can handle this, they first need to experience someone saying, you're upset and I'm here with you. Co regulation is not spoiling, it is helping the child borrow our calm until they develop their own. Have you ever noticed something? When children are upset, we often say, stop crying, calm down, you're overreacting. But if they could calm down themselves, they already would, right? In moments of distress, children are not being difficult, they are overwhelmed. Their emotional brain has taken over. And when the emotional brain is activated, logic and reasoning are temporarily not available. That is why lectures, threats, punishments often fail in those moments. Children first need connection with you before you correct them, safety before solutions, co regulation before self regulation. There is a whole science behind borrowing calm. This is important to understand because when children are overwhelmed, what we are seeing is often biology, not bad behavior, not disrespect, not stubbornness, and not manipulation, but a nervous system that has not yet learned how to return to calm on its own. So, deep inside the brain is a structure called the amygdala. Its job is survival. When children feel frustrated, scared, disappointed, or overwhelmed, the amygdala gets activated, and it activates flight, fight, and freeze responses. And this may show up as tantrums, yelling, hitting, withdrawal, refusal, or crying. The child isn't trying to manipulate here. Their nervous system is overwhelmed. Second, behind the forehead is the thinking brain or the prefrontal cortex. This area helps with problem solving, empathy, impulse control, and emotional regulation. But during stress, this thinking brain goes offline, which means children literally cannot access their best thinking. At that time, the parent becomes their external prefrontal cortex. When we remain calm, our nervous system communicates safety, and gradually the child's brain settles. Once calm returns, the thinking brain comes back online for the child. Only then can learning happen. Children also learn emotional regulation through mirror neurons. These special brain cells allow children to absorb and imitate the emotional states of those adults around them. If we become anxious, they become anxious. If we become angry, they become angry. If we remain calm, their nervous system begins to settle. Over thousands of such repeated experiences, children internalize our responses. Eventually, our voice becomes their inner voice, and co regulation becomes self regulation. Now, co regulation doesn't mean eliminating boundaries, it means bringing calm before correction. For example, your child is throwing a tantrum. Instead of saying, "Stop crying right now," try, "I know you're upset. I'm right here for you." Let's look at another scenario. The child is afraid of a test in school. You say, "Oh, don't worry about it. You will do well." That's not going to help. Instead, "I see you're nervous about the test, and that is understandable. Let's take one step at a time." Co regulation doesn't remove responsibility, it creates safety so responsibility can grow. Let us now try to see what co regulation actually looks like. A co regulated parent stays present during big emotions. They don't get overwhelmed. They offer connection before correction. They set limits without shaming the child. They listen before lecturing. They help children name emotions. "I am frustrated. I am tired." Understands that behavior is a form of communication and responds with curiosity instead of control. Not perfectly, but consistently enough. So, what happens when children experience co regulation? Over time, they develop emotional resilience. They recover faster from disappointments. They feel safe and connected. There is better impulse control. Eventually, they no longer need us to calm them. They begin calming themselves. And something else emerges: self awareness. They begin to say, "I'm frustrated. I'm nervous. I need help. I made a mistake." And that self awareness becomes the foundation for discovering their Svadharma or innate nature. The Bhagavad Gita describes the wise person as one who remains steady amidst life's ups and downs. As parents, our steadiness becomes a gift to our children because children borrow our nervous system before they develop their own. If your child struggles with emotions, remember, they're not giving you a hard time. They are having a hard time. And what they need most in those moments is not more control, but a calm presence. Because self regulation does not begin inside the child, it begins between the parent and the child. And over time, correlation becomes self regulation. If you would like to learn how regulation, co regulation, self awareness, observation, nurturing, and guidance help children discover their unique Svadharma, subscribe to Svadharma Circles, where we explore parenting through neuroscience and the timeless wisdom of Sanatana Dharma.